Right. Let's get to our first topic. Our first topic is a nice positive one. So, Transformers: Rise of the Beast. All the reactions are here, and they're saying, "Oh, it's going to be the franchise best." Look, maybe. When I read this, I was like, "Yeah, cool. You know, if you're really looking forward to this, good for you. I hope this is. I hope they're telling the truth, right? Because we get a lot of these reviews and these reactions, and a lot of it's bollocks. So I sincerely hope for those that are looking forward to this movie that they are telling the truth. But one thing which confused me is they're like, it's the franchise best. Which franchise? Is this Bayformers? Is this Bumblebee? Or is this the new reboot? Which franchise? Which franchise are they talking about? Or are they just the umbrella of the Transformers franchise? Because they're different. This is a reboot. So,
does this not share the same continuity as the others?
No.
It looks like a bridge to me in the trailer because it takes place in 84 or whatever.
Because this has the same designs as they did in Bumblebee.
No, it's connected to Bumblebee, but Bumblebee is no longer connected to the other movies.
Bumblebee, which was a prequel, is now retroactively a reboot. And this is the sequel to that. Is that how we're doing this?
Yeah.
Oh, so confusing.
So you now have basically two Transformers timelines in one timeline. Bumblebee is the prequel and the beginning, and in the other with leading up to the Bay movies. Whereas in this timeline, it's Bumblebee plus these ones, but this is not part of the Bayverse. Is that about right? Because this is the first I hear of it.
Honestly, the thing is, in the trailer, it's categorically a reboot because the big villain outside of Scourge is Unicron, and Unicron in the last movie was Planet Earth, right?
I have no recollection of that.
Mate, honestly, so fucking stupid. Anyway, it's so dumb.
Anyway,
it's a reboot
anymore, other than Bumblebee. Fantastic.
Neither can I. But anyway, it's a reboot. It's a new timeline. Loads of people are loving it.
I'm trying to do the math here, but if you carry the Oreo and you subtract, no, I'm just kidding. Like, no, I think it's the better move if they actually are springing off of Bumblebee. Then that tells me that they didn't not get the message initially because we gave it a lukewarm box office response. Well, that was because the last 5 movies, frankly, kind of sucked. Outside of the first one, maybe.
Kind of.
Or basically it's the same movie over and over again. Well, however you look at it, at that point, the audience had kind of been like, yeah, we've had enough of those. And then Bumblebee took people by surprise, but most people didn't discover Bumblebee until it hit video.
Yeah.
And at that point, I wonder if they're just, maybe it's still playing very, very well on like Paramount Plus. I don't know if it's up there right now. I mean, they must have noticed it a little bit to where if that's what they're doing, bravo, good move, because trying to take it back to the Bay universe was the dumbest thing I ever heard in my life when I thought that's what they were going to do. So I hope this is the case.
Yeah, honestly, it is. It's a straight up reboot now, basically. But let's have a look. Right, it's about what you'd expect. But so the thing is about this is that what they're saying is good should be the bare minimum, but wasn't the bare minimum for things like The Little Mermaid. And I said this in my video earlier, is that, if you got a movie that's heavily CGI and no one praises the CGI, or they say, the CGI is a bit choppy, that's a problem. And that's one of the issues with The Little Mermaid, is they're like, it's this, it's that. She is Ariel, but the underwater effects are a bit shit. And you're like, mate, it's a mermaid movie. The underwater effects being a bit shit's a pretty big problem. So they're saying that the action's easy to follow and the CGI is good, which is good. That's what I expect, But at least that's good, because some of the Bayformers movies were ridiculously hard to follow because it was just a big It was like, honestly, it was like Optimus Prime himself just did a big CGI all over the screen. It was just mess everywhere, absolute trash, crap. You couldn't see anything.
I can't tell them apart. Like I can't tell movies 2, 3, and 4 and 5 apart. Like, there's 5, right?
Mate, I've got
this is the test I love to do to people.
Don't ask me.
The movie is about an object that the bad guys want and the good guys need to find. Which movie am I talking about?
Yeah, all of them.
All of them. Exactly. They're all the same thing.
But for instance, you tell me, like, which movie was this in? I'm like, I think like the
I know.
Devastator was it?
The only one I remember is that
I have no clue.
I just remember Megan
Dark
Fox.
Side of the Moon or whatever. That's the only reason I remember is because I think that one has Leonard Nimoy in it. Yeah,
yeah.
I remember that. I remember the first one because of Megan Fox leaning over like a motorbike or a car or something.
Oh, that was the image.
and her boyfriend gets killed by Jason eventually, but yeah.
And the first one, to be fair, that wasn't too bad. But beyond that, like it all just blends together.
I know.
For instance, I can't recollect that Unicron was there. Was Earth? I don't remember that at all.
It was in the last one. Look it up. It's in the last one. But anyway, let's just get to some of these reviews. So, and just see what they're saying, right? So the new Transformers movie is pretty solid. Love the Brooklyn setting. Maximals and Scourge add a new spin, and the action pops. So that's good. Especially the New York scenes. Mirage steals the show. That's Pete Davidson's character. I fucking hate him. I think he's a cockwomble. But the true star is the absolute best soundtrack, full of early 90s hip-hop hits. This 90s kid had fun. You're a fucking 90s kid? Jesus, mate. You want to moisturize? Christ. Right, anyway. Just saw Transformers Rise of the Beast, and it's a total blast. There are lots of references to the Transformers universe that will wow fans. Anthony Ramos is amazing as Noah, and the team is great as always, but the real standout is Pete Davidson as Mirage. Don't miss it, June 7th. Fucking Stephen Weintraub. Happy to say Transformers Rise of the Beast is one of the best installments of the franchise. It's a lot of fun. CGI looks great, and it has well-staged action that's easy to follow. The screening I saw actually had people clapping in the theatre, and the kids laughed a lot, which that surprised me, because I'm like, you went to a press screening with kids? What? What's that about?
Well, if people get like a +1, they might have took their kids or something like that.
I've never been to a press screening when someone's brought their kids ever.
I've heard of it in the past.
I'd be as a member of the press, I'd be really annoyed if that happened, actually.
Well, like I said, sometimes they get a +1 with it. So I'm trying to remember. There was recently a critic who was talking about taking his kid to, I think, the Mario movie or whatever with him.
Maybe. So Mike Reyes says Transformers Rise of the Beast was a blast. The Beast Wars crew finally shows up in what's arguably the best Transformers movie in the run. What run, though? There's a lot of heart, humor, and Brooklyn pride in there. I don't care about Brooklyn. And it all makes for throwback popcorn fun. Transformers Rise of the Beast makes good use of the animated movie storyline, so that's good. And integrates the Maximals and Terracons to a good effect. Stakes are high, and Scourge is a terrifying and powerful villain. Action-packed with a lot of heart, albeit with some cheese on top. All the cheddar. That's what they're all about. Rise of the Beast delivers one of the better and more coherent installments in the franchise. Good. They clearly understood what worked so well for 2018's Bumblebee. As Rise of the Beast has heart and the human characters are more likable. They should be anyway. Mirage will walk away as the fan favorite. Lots of people love him, Mirage, but I guess he is the central Autobot in this, right? Like, I'm guessing. Jermaine Lucius has totally dug Rise of the Beast. It's got some issues in the middle, but it starts strong, has fantastic 90s hip-hop, makes great use of the humans, and the third act is a blast. Plus, I damn near jumped out of my seat at the end. Right up there with the first Bay and Bumblebee. All right, then. Pete Davidson steals every scene. The end blew my mind. Music's fire.
Wait, Davidson's in this? I'm out.
Yeah, he plays Mirage.
Oh, okay. He's the voice actor.
He's the main Autobot character. Yeah,
we don't have to see him.
You don't have to see him. We just have to listen to him, and it may not even actually sound like him.
Mirage sounds like.
Yeah. So I mean, look, there's not a lot there. You know, follows in the footsteps of Bumblebee. Cool. Game-changing finale that levels up the franchise. That always concerns me because you don't. That's what Marvel had a problem. That's what the last Transformers, the Bayformers, had problems with. Is that they wanted to have they kept up in the ante every single time, and it just became ridiculous. And that's how you ended up with Unicron being Planet Earth. It's fucking nonsense. We got to stop him from opening up. He'll destroy Planet Earth because he is Planet Earth. You penis.
Basically. Marvel's Eternals ripped that off of a Bayformers movie when they had like the Celestial being inside of Earth.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Jesus.
Oh, mate, it's just.
I have no memory of this. It's completely.
Oh no,
Yeah.
Well, they just blend into one, don't they?
Yeah.
But this one's quite good. You know, plays like a ultimate Saturday morning cartoon. It's a lean, fun movie. What do we think, guys? I mean, I've rabbited on for a bunch of time, but what thoughts?
I mean,
Culture, you've sort of wanted to chime in there. I've seen you biting your lip there, mate.
I look, these movies, the fascination for these movies left me a long time ago. So the fact that it's existed this long to me is still surprising. The Bumblebee film was the only thing that I considered tolerable after the very first film, you know, and I just really wasn't a fan of the Bayformer stuff. Largely, it's an animated film. Occasionally, a human being is in the frame. It's not I've never found them particularly compelling. For the most part, I mean, this is like Fast and the Furious Robots edition for me. So there's just it's lost on me. Now, if this is good, and if it's as good as the first film or perhaps Bumblebee, then that'd be great. But how do you continually notch up these films like they suggest in this review? I don't know. I mean, what are you going to blow up more stuff? I mean, how much more stuff can you blow up? It's just the stakes are always the same. It's rinse repeat filmmaking, and it loses me every time because I'm bored.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't argue with any of that. Because I mean, you know, when they dropped the first trailer, or the last trailer, whatever it was, I was like, you know, it literally just looks like the Bayformers movies. And everyone was like, no, you're so wrong. And I'm like, all right, whatever. Like, it's just my opinion, mate. Calm down. Like, you can jizz over Transformers all you like. Like, I like Transformers, but Christ, like, they do all look the same at this point. But apparently, according to the more keen eye, all right, for this this franchise, apparently this is the movie.
Well, it's getting a lot of positive pub. You know, a lot of people seem to be excited about it. And again, I mean, you know, to me, it was very nice. The first film had a lot of humans that, you know, you were interested in watching.
Definitely interested in watching Megan Fox.
Yeah, and
definitely interested.
Yeah. It's just
100% interested in watching Megan Fox.
There you go.
Were you interested in watching Megan Fox?
Of course,
I'm not
I
sure if Nate likes Megan Fox.
I think all
mate. Honestly, I saw she popped up on like Google, sends you like random weird like notifications of like news and stuff, and it just posted a picture of Megan Fox to me the other day, and I was like, they're fucking listening to my conversations when I'm doing the this podcast.
I was
like, fucking hell. Like, that's someone that's aged into a body nicely. Anyway, moving on.
No, just regardless. I mean, but I feel like since that first film, what ground has been broken? I mean, you got Marky Mark in there. You got it's just, again, and maybe that sounds cynical, mean, overly critical, whatever. If you're there to have a good time and this is your jam, go for it. Because look, the actual Transformers that like existed in toy form, I'm a huge fan of. You know, Autobots, Decepticons, pick a side. You know, it was kind of fun. You know, and you know, I collected, or actually, my younger siblings collected a bunch of those toys. It's just, it's just one of those things. You know, I don't know. I'm sure other people have opinions, but this film is not made for me.
Yeah, I mean, so I would liken this franchise now to the Fast and Furious films. Started off strong and then just descended into more and it sounds like it almost sounds like a contradiction. Descended more into sort of cartoonish nonsense. But when they started off quite strong to then, I don't know, like, I know it sounds dumb because they are cartoons, but yeah, it's because they never really nailed where they were going the direction wise with it all. So I would liken this to the Fast and Furious films, basically. That whole franchise.
This might have the most potential as far as like since the Bayformer movies, because I mean, going back to my point, they're all the same thing. There's nothing new or original about them. They're the same one after another, after another, after another. And that's where we got bored of it. And I had to admit, like most people, that Bumblebee was a bit refreshing. It was a bit different. Maybe setting it in a different time period helped. Kind of just disregarding and shaking off some of the other, you know, nonsensical, huge, you know, bloatedness of the last few films was also a bit refreshing. So I mean, if they're spinning off of that, if they're using a lot of inspiration from the animated film that's a step in the right direction, especially for fans. I mean, I've never been a huge Transformers fan. I think they're all right. But to me, they were just the cartoon that was on between G.I. Joe and something else. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't really get on their train as much as others. But at the end of the day, if, they can manage to throw a story in there that's better than just find MacGuffin that the bad guys want and, destroy bad guys, then I think they should be okay. This might have some potential. It might not be very good. I don't know. But I'm probably looking forward to this more than I have any other Transformer movie since Bumblebee's been out, basically. And I know Andre was a bigger fan of Bumblebee than most people I know, and we haven't heard much from Nick either yet. But yeah, I mean, I don't think the movie's going to flop, and I think it'll all depend on how much they are inspired by the cartoon and how many callbacks and, the storyline if they follow it. I mean, shit, half these Transformers might be dead by the end of the movie.
Yeah. Nick, come on then, bud. You got to say for yourself.
As long as they stay away from Transformers Earthspark and the pronouns crap, I'm good with checking this film out. Like Tom was saying, the Bumblebee movie for me when I saw it was kind of like a breath of fresh air. After the second Transformers movie, when the third one came out, I was already starting to lose interest. I didn't even have any interest in even seeing Bumblebee when it came out. It was literally just word of mouth from people that made me go watch it after it was out on streaming, and I liked it. I'm kind of in the same boat though going into this. I'm not going to go spend my money and my time going to the theater to see it. But if word of mouth's good when it's out on a streaming service, I'll more than likely probably check it out.
Oh, okay. All right. Andre.
As Tom just said, I'm an unabashed fan of Bumblebee. I went into Bumblebee with the absolute lowest set of expectations you can imagine. I was like thinking, this is going to be so dumb. I don't like Bumblebee, never liked Bumblebee, never appealed to me. Here's a prequel. I see why you want that, but why center it on Bumblebee of all characters? And I was blown away by how good it was. It is. I like the first movie, the first Bay movie, and this one is even better. And then when I heard that the sequel was going to take things back to Bayhem again, I was like, well, I'm out then. And Beast Wars, I never saw Beast Wars. I just absolutely hated the primitive 3D animation. I was getting too old by then, so I never saw it. I have no idea what it is or about or anything. I saw the trailers for this, and I was like, yeah, fine, whatever. Big, stupid gorilla monkey. I'm not interested. And then actually when you said, so now retroactively Bumblebee is a reboot, and this is a sequel to that, and the Bayverse never happened. Okay, I'm in. I'm excited now. I hope, and especially with these reviews. And to me, they sounded like genuinely positive. This sounds to me to be as good as you possibly can expect. I hope this is good now. I look forward to seeing this, and I will be seeing it with more interest now than I had before. Because up until you alerted me to that, I had no interest whatsoever. I am now looking forward to this. Here's to hoping it'll be a fun time.
Well, yeah. I mean, this is the thing, guys. Like, whatever movie I rag on, I never want you guys to go to the film and have a really crap time. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's the worst thing you could want for someone, just to waste their time. I think it's awful. I hope everyone that wants to go see this has a really good time with it. It's not for me. I'm going to go watch it, though. And I hope I enjoy it. Let's put it that way. Because I enjoyed some of the other Transformers movies, but we'll see. We will see.